The official INDYCAR app, powered by NTT data, puts the pulse-pounding action of INDYCAR right at your fingertips. Never miss a lap with the latest news, highlights, and live race coverage. Track every move with real-time leaderboards, interactive maps, onboard cameras, and driver radio. Your all-access pass to every race, every moment, every day. Download the official INDYCAR app now.
All the world's indeed a stage, and for the drivers of the INDYCAR series, caught in the camera's eye, all chasing the universal dream as they rush into the limelight in Canada. And without further ado, let's take a look at the Ontario Honda Dealers Indy Toronto starting grid.
I'm Jacob Abel from Louisville, Kentucky.
Devon DeFrancesco, Toronto, Ontario.
Stingray Rob, Hayat, Idaho.
Alexander Rossi, Nevada City, California.
Santino Ferrucci, Woodbury, Connecticut.
Christian Rasmussen, I'm from Copenhagen, Denmark.
Connor Daly from Noblesville, Indiana.
Robert Schwartzman, born in Israel, Tel Aviv.
I'm Christian Lundgaard from Vejle, Denmark.
Josef Newgarden, Nashville, Tennessee.
I'm Scott Dixon, driver the number 9 PNC Bank Honda from Auckland, New Zealand.
Felix Rosenqvist, Värnamo, Sweden.
I'm David Malukas, grown up in Chicago, Illinois.
Scott McLaughlin, Christchurch, New Zealand.
Hi, I'm Kevin Simpson from the Cayman Islands.
Nolan Siegel, Palo Alto, California.
I'm Callum Milo, I'm from Cambridge in the UK.
Pato Award, Monterrey, Mexico.
Rinus VK, Hoofddorp, the Netherlands.
Marcus Eriksson, Kumla, Sweden.
Louis Foster, Odium, England.
I'm Kyle Kirkwood from Jupiter, Florida.
Graham Rahal, Columbus, Ohio.
Will Power, Toowoomba, Queensland, Australia.
Marcus Armstrong, Christchurch, New Zealand.
Hello, I'm Alex Palou. I'm from Barcelona, Spain.
I'm Colton Herta from Valencia, California.
And there's your 27, down to 26, of course, because Ferrucci in 23rd will not be taking the start of this race. His grid slot will be empty. Time to go down trackside for the command.
Toronto race fans, are you ready? It's time for those most famous words in all of sports. Please welcome your grand marshals from the Ontario Honda dealers to give the command.
Drivers, start your engines!
Ryan Oldham, Canadian oldie from Barstool Sports, taking the two-seater ride and the fastest seat in sports. And while he goes around, why don't we take a look at the Honda track preview?
Well, this place is special, just 1.7 miles in length. And I call this the mosh pit of the IndyCar schedule because in between the walls and the chain link, it is gnarly. So many different track surfaces. It's a blend of concrete and steel that punishes the car and driver like nowhere else we go. But James, this is your hometown. Take us around. Take us into turn 3.
Well, look, one of the best passing opportunities, I think, on any straight circuit in the IndyCar calendar into 3 through this technical section, 4 through 6, then down that back straight into that treacherous turn 7, turn 8. We've seen a lot of drivers off there, T-Bell, and the bumps and surface changes through 9, 10, and 11. It challenges car, it challenges setup, it challenges tires, drivers. This is a challenging little track.
And Will, pit lane has 3 turns, a left, right, left to get you through, and it's tight.
An incredible challenge, and for more on the challenges, not just of the track, but the pit lane, Jack Harvey.
Yeah, thank you, Will. So the first thing the driver's going to have to manage is a 90-degree left corner. Second thing they're going to have to manage is this cone. The only driver who's allowed on the inside of it is Kyle Kirkwood. He's the first driver in pit lane. His teammate Colton Herta actually has a pretty good pit stall here. It's square, meaning he should be able just to have a pretty normal stop, and we know how critical those pit stops can be in the race. Second thing they have to manage is another turn, a right-hander. I can't even see Georgia right now, but I know she's up there. What's happening, G?
Well, Jack, I'm in the middle of pit lane. It's a short straightaway into a sweeping left-hand turn. The challenge here, you can't see around the corner. So picture this. You do a pit stop, you make it back out to pit lane, and you don't know what awaits you around the bend. So that's why communication between teams and drivers is going to be so critical today. And around that bend is Kevin Lee.
And Georgia, that bridge you were under, those that pit out,
they actually will radio into their teams and say bridge because it's blind coming around the corner. This is Will Power's pit location. Normally pit out is a great spot. This is a really good because it's an easy exit. Then you head out here. These are the best locations you have, and you find Alex Palou having a legendary season, but that's a little tough. He's got to turn back to the right, and it gets really tight on pit exit often. This is where the race is won.
Beautiful stuff, guys. And where we started the show today, up there on the roof of Hotel X, that's where all the spotters are standing, looking out, not just for that rundown of turn one, but also critically for pit lane.
Those spotters are going to be up there working with the guys on pit lane, James, to remind the drivers of the Verizon race strategy.
First and foremost, you got to make those soft tires last. Those are the green sidewall Firestones we see here on Colton Herta because they might not do a whole fuel stint. Then you got to respect the bumps. Bumpiest circuit on the IndyCar calendar. Lots of surface changes. We saw that catching drivers out in practice, and respect the walls. You said it, T-Bell. It's like a mosh pit in between these two concrete walls. We've seen drivers clipping. We've seen drivers smacking these walls. That can end your race quickly.
And as the cars follow the 2025 Honda Civic Type R around this track, you will notice that all of those dark lines laid down during practice 1, practice 2 and qualifying have gone. Rain overnight has washed away all the grip from this circuit. A wet to dry practice warm-up session this morning really didn't add anything to the mix. So the drivers starting from scratch once again. Only 2 drivers in the top 12 will start on the hard tire. Everyone else on the soft, hoping for an early yellow, an early full course caution for them to be able to get rid of those soft tires, which we estimate will last less than 10 laps.
So it's a 90-lap race. You could go about 35 laps on a tank of fuel. So that gets you to 70 with 1 pit stop. It's those final 20 laps that's the big question mark with the soft tire. Will they last 20 laps? That's what you need to make this a 2 pit stop race.
Drivers are going to try it. This is the kind of strategy that the Chip Ganassi racing team loves to use. You see Alex Palou starting on those hards. That could be his indication of the way he wants to make this go. But I have a feeling a driver like Colton Herta up front, he doesn't want to have to worry about saving tires. He wants to put the throttle down and just drive flat out for 3 stints.
And the fact that the majority of the field is starting on those softer tires, denoted by the green sidewall, would suggest the majority of the field will be going elbows out, flat foot, every single lap of the way. The 2 in the top 12 starting on the hard tire. Alex Palou, as Hinch has already said. The other rookie, Louis Foster, RLL, deciding to split their strategies with both Louis Foster and Graham Rahal having a brilliant qualifying session yesterday. Rahal starting from the 5th spot. Foster starting from the 7th. As we go 2 by 2 around the back stretch of the track through turn 7 and up into 8. We get ready for the pace car to peel in, and when it does, it will be down to pole sitter Colton Herta to temper the pace and bring this field to green. It is wonderful to be here on the streets of Toronto, our only race north of the border. It's always an exciting one, and Colton Herta brings them now through 10 when he rounds 11. He will be on Prince's Boulevard. He will see Prince's Gate. He will put his foot flat to the floor. And in Toronto, when the green flag flies, we will be racing. And we are racing. And Colton Herta immediately with the advantage. Kirkwood trying to make some moves around the outside of Will Power, bunching up down there through turn 1. Everyone through safely. Are they? Little nudge on the wall from Felix Rosenquist, but pretty much everybody through there unscathed, and that's key on lap 1 on the run down now to turn 3. And look at Marcus Armstrong coming from the pole sitter, coming for Colton Herta, but can't quite. Have a look, and Kirkwood is already up and fighting against Alex Palou. Does he get it? He does. That's up to 3rd place for Kyle Kirkwood.
Palou's got a championship to defend as Rahal's having to defend against Will Power there, where Kyle Kirkwood can just go for broke here, and that's what he's trying to do. Townsend, he looked maybe like he was out of line at the start of that race. We'll have to see what race control has to say about that, but so far, no cautions on the first lap.
Yeah, amazing that everybody's made it through so far without any contact that we noticed. And I like the way Graham Rahal made that move to defend against Will Power. That's a huge start for Graham Rahal. Could be his best race of the season.
Squirrely through the final few turns at the rear of the field, but a perfect first lap from Colton Herta, who is already starting to stretch his legs 1 second ahead of Marcus Armstrong from his equal best starting position in the beautiful Canadian liveried Meyer Shank car. But look at Kirkwood already tucked up underneath Armstrong's rear wing and going for a move on him on the run down to turn 3. Immediately the man who felt he should have been on pole, trying to take back second position and make it an Andretti 1-2 as Power again has the defend, this time from Marcus Ericsson.
Boy, it looked like Marcus Armstrong got awfully defensive there down in turn 3. The brake zone can be a little deceiving based on how the racing line normally goes. I wonder what race control might say about the defense from that Canadian liveried car of Marcus Armstrong.
Don't forget, in IndyCar, your defense has to be an offense. You cannot move once the driver behind you has made their move to try and pass you.
Riding on board the Gamebridge Honda of your pole sitter, Colton Herta, and that's the view back to Armstrong, who did a great job on lap 1, turn 1 to get around the championship leader, Palo. He has podiums in his career. Last time out in Iowa, he would love to get that 1 or 2 steps better. He was 3rd at those occasions.
And a driver in already, and it's Pato O'Ward. So too Scott McLaughlin. So too Marcus Ericsson jumping in at the earliest possible opportunity. 2 laps completed. Get rid of those softs and get racing.
So that tells us that none of those teams think the soft tire is going to last. We'll be watching lap time for these top 3 cars as Kyle Kirkwood and Marcus Armstrong continue to duke it out side by side. But we'll watch lap times here, James, to see what the pace is like.
Guys, something really strange is happening. I noticed it earlier. I want to make sure I wasn't dreaming, but the yellow caution lights on the back of the race cars are flashing. The attenuator and the rear wing end fences have red lights that normally, and we see a full course caution. There it is.
And McLaughlin is into the wall, and his rear left has gone. I wonder if that was secured or if he's just hit the wall. I'm sure we'll tell from the replay, but to see that wheel just bouncing down the track like that, normally it would stay attached thanks to the cords at the rear of the car. But
really, it's the wheel lock nut, and I'll bet this wheel was never on. And there you see the wheel nut coming off the left rear.
And that's it. So trying to get that stop done quick. And Penske's miserable season continues for Scott McLaughlin. He posted after the last race that, actually, let's get a replay on board. Take a look at that wheel. I mean, we saw the nut come off, Townsend.
Yeah, it's loaded right here, and now it gets unloaded. Just there, and I don't know if the wheel nut broke or if it was never tight. I'm surprised if it wasn't tight. I'm surprised he could even make it into turn 1.
And there's absolutely nothing that you can do in that situation. I'm very fortunate that the tire stayed where it did, didn't bounce any higher, and that everybody had sort of made it through by that point. Pit lane is open if anybody else wants to jump off their soft tire.
This could really benefit those drivers that just came in and made those stops. Pato O'Ward, Marcus Ericsson. Unfortunately, McLaughlin was one of them as well. I think we saw Nolan Siegel as well as the AMR safety team gets to the stranded car of McLaughlin. As these pits open, it's going to get hairy down there. It's going to be busy in pit lane.
It will. And Scott McLaughlin, I was just saying, posted on social media after the last race, and another disappointment for him being taken out early in that what he is taking from this year are the blessings that he gets from his family and everything outside of the track. And we now have drivers on pit lane. Jack.
Colton Herta just pit. They've gone for a new set of that hard tyre. That was a really clean stop. I'm just also waiting for Kyle Kirkwood. He's also back down pit lane. Really smooth stops by the Andretti duo. Georgia.
Marcus Armstrong had a clear pit box getting in because Marcus Ericsson had already pitted. They went from the softs to the hards. No adjustments. Kevin.
Colton Herta easily won the race off pit lane. Then Marcus Armstrong gets out second, followed by Kyle Kirkwood.
And I'll tell you what, guys, that was a great stop for Graham Rahal as well, who's come out just behind Kyle Kirkwood. Order about to get shaken up here. Who will it benefit? We'll find out when we return. Shaking heads and disappointment and confusion down there for the Thirsty Threes and Scott McLaughlin. It was that rear left bolt just not quite tight enough. Had 2 stabs at it, went in for a third, says it's good, sends it, and then you see the nut fall off. Great camera work from our guys out on track. And the wheel, of course, shortly follows. That is how we got into this situation. What it meant is that Pato O'Ward, who pitted on the 3rd lap, now leads those who have pitted. He's down in 14th place ahead of Ericsson and Siegel, then Hurd to the pole sitter from 17th back. Kevin.
So when you talk about what Alex Palou might be doing or hoping for, he told me, I'm okay if there's an early caution. We know he wants to go long because that's going to get people out of the way. He cycles to the front. He is considering leaving the option open to doing it on 2 stops, but not certain if it's going to work. He really wants to see someone that runs the sauce for a while. How long will they last? Can you make them last long enough when you get to them?
And how long will the soft tire last? For VK in 2nd, Simpson in 4th, the only drivers who didn't use that full course caution to come in and change from the soft to the hard. Palou is about to get us back to racing ways with Renus VK behind him. Louis Foster on the hard as well. Simpson on the soft, then everyone else behind on that hard tire. Lucas in 5th and Dixon in 6th, and now Palou punches it, and we go green once again. An excellent restart from the championship leader on the run down towards Prince's Gate. VK goes with him as we look towards the rear. Anyone having a look down there into turn 1? Not quite at this lap. Everyone just shaping up. Oh, and now O'Ward has a look at Jacob Abel coming through there. Or is that Lundgaard? No, my apologies. But O'Ward wants to make these moves early doors. In fact, it was O'Ward. O'Ward getting ahead of Stingray Robb. So he's made up a good couple of places there. Has Pato O'Ward. Lovely restart from the McLaren man.
Yeah, massive stack up right here as Colton Herta tries to get past Jacob Abel and Stingray Robb. O'Ward was lucky to clear Robb early. Now these guys are going to be all jammed up. Siegel, contact there, gets into the back of Marcus Armstrong.
And this is where the Colton Hertas, the Marcus Armstrongs of the world have to be patient. They've got to make sure they get through this next little stretch. They're essentially leading on one strategy where the Palo, VK, and Foster team is leading on a different strategy. It's so easy, though, when you had that clean air out front. Now you're stuck in traffic to get frustrated, force a move that can lead to a mistake.
Alex Palou is not hanging around. 1.5 seconds in 1 lap of Renus VK. But VK and Simpson have got to try and look after their tires. Take those softs as far as they will go. Palou knows that he can do about 30 laps on fuel and on this rubber.
Yeah, he's going to look to stretch the stint as long as possible with Alex Palou as Kiffin Simpson and David Malukas go side by side. Simpson with the advantage.
And Pato trying now to put the move on Devlin DiFrancesco, and that is for 11th place. He is absolutely not hanging around as Armstrong gets around Abel. And Siegel will try to do the same. You can pass here into turn 5, but you've got to be committed.
Got to protect your car. If you're one of these fast guys trying to get yourself back to good fortune after kind of unlucky timing with the yellow in the pit stop, you just have to protect your race car. All the while, though, your team is telling you, hey, Alex Palou has opened up a massive gap up front. We got to make some positions up. How do you walk the tightrope? That's the challenge as a driver on the streets.
And of course, for Palou, he has that clear track ahead of him. For everyone behind, they've got to try and make those positions through. It's going to be tough going, but O'Ward has got his elbows out and is on the march.
And look, VK's up there on pace. He qualified 9th. That's a quick car right now, but on those softs, as we see Herta making moves, Kirkwood making moves on willpower. VK right now is running almost a second a lap slower than Alex Palou in the lead on those hard tires. Maybe a move here into 3.
And it's Siegel trying to go around the outside of Jacob Abel. Abel will have to give him the space on exit. Siegel keeps his foot stuck in, and that's really brave of Nolan Siegel. And Graham Rahal's going to take advantage of that into 5, and Felix Rosenquist's going to follow him through as well.
Yeah, big opportunity right there for Graham Rahal that Jacob Abel got checked up, so now Graham's like, okay, I've cleared that. Put my head down here. I've got a little bit of clean air. Let's make some pace now.
Louis Foster on the same strategy as Alex Palou, doesn't want to let him get away, but look at that. It's almost the length of Prince's Boulevard already for Alex Palou. 3.4 seconds over Renus VK. That is what champions do. So it's Palo from VK, Foster from Simpson, VK and Simpson on an alternate strategy though, trying to run those soft tyres as far as they can. Everyone else on the softs has changed already. Onto the hard tyres, but Lucas now has a look up the inside of Kiff and Simpson. And that's really nicely executed from David Malukas. That caution came out, of course, for Scott McLaughlin, who's standing by on pit lane.
He's been released from IndyCar Medical Unit. We are here with him. We're going to show you a replay of the incident so you can describe and see what happened in real time, Scott.
Yeah, I'm firstly bummed for everyone on the Gallagher Chevy, and Gallagher 2 races in a row out pretty early, so sorry to them. But yeah, I felt like something sort of broke or something on the left rear. Or we just done it to pit stop. I love my guys, so I'm not going to drop them in the. Oh yeah, the nut came off. But anyway, it's frustrating. We're all in this together. It's hard. It's hard right now.
Thank you.
You feel for the Penske team this year, if they didn't have bad luck, they probably have no luck at all, particularly Scott McLaughlin, and now Scott Dixon lining up his teammate Kiffin Simpson, who is on that soft tyre, which we expected to start degrading around lap 7 or 8, and flies past 1. Will he fly past 2? Going for the move on David Malukas as well.
Oh, Lucas closed the door.
Room.
So smart for Scott Dixon to back out of that, not force it early. That's exactly what we talked about as Alexander Rossi trying to force his way through in that Java House yellow and blue car. But guys, I'm watching the pace of Rinus VK. It is dropping fast. Malukas has gotten ahead, so VK's on that soft tire, and he's out of tire at this point. He is in panic mode and going to stay out.
Newgarden gets past Simpson. Lundgaard gets past Simpson. Rossi wants past Simpson, and here comes Callum Ilott.
And here is the problem for Alex Palou, is his team will be watching this and saying, I don't know if we can make this on 2 stops.
Bad news for Palo for sure, but that was a huge move from Schwartzman as Dixon easily by VK, but Schwartzman on the outside of Rossi when he got checked up there. Side by side now, Ericsson in 1.
Kirkwood puts the move on Rahal further back. 2 races here playing out at the same time. VK dropping like a stone. Newgarden on one side. On the inside is Lundgaard. They both go through. Lundgaard will have track position as Newgarden tries to hustle him around the outside. They make contact. That will slow Newgarden down, but VK can't take advantage on tyres which are now long past their prime. And here comes Schwartzman up the inside at 5, and that's another position for the rookie. Yeah, no joke, Rinus. You absolutely do. Alexander Rossi now inching to get past him as well. Those soft tyres are toast.
This race suddenly got very interesting because Alex Palou now knows that he needs to find about 25 seconds over Palo Award on this stint as Rinus VK comes in. That's the gap Palou's going to need to make that extra pit stop now.
And Simpson stays out incredibly.
I think that's a mistake.
They're just losing so much time at this point. It's creating these traffic jams. Herta now going to go by. Siegel going to try to follow through. That's 3 wide into 1.
And that's Rasmussen on Islet and Abel. And Rasmussen does 2 in 1 corner. The action coming thick and fast here in Toronto. Here comes Kyle Kirkwood. It's 3 wide down into 1 around the slower car of Simpson. A little bump, a little hip check. Stingray Rob has a look as Rahal goes around the outside of Rob. This is wonderful.
Oh, so narrow through there, the canyon that's turned 3, 4, and 5. Rahal just makes it through.
Boom!
There goes Christian Rasmussen.
His luck has finally run out. Spins it around on a flat rear right. We'll try to get that back to the pit. Shades of Gilles Villeneuve style driving in Canada. Where else? With a flat tire flapping around at the rear. Rasmussen carries on his way in a moment that would have put other drivers out of the race. A bump from Power into the wall. Rasmussen continues. Back here in Toronto, local artisans doing their thing. I quite like one of them. Alex Palou is your race leader. We are under caution. A number of drivers taking their stops under caution. This man Will Power, behind him Kevin Simpson. While we were still racing, a bit of contact between the 12 and the 60 of Felix Rosenqvist. That right side of the front wing definitely damaged in that. But we had a fascinating scenario earlier where Kevin Simpson was losing time hand over fist, about 7 seconds, the drop-off in just a couple of laps.
Here's the incident that put us under caution. This is Power on the inside of Rasmussen.
This is exactly what Will Power did last year to his teammate Scott McLaughlin. It didn't work then for McLaughlin. It didn't work now for Rasmussen. Power just shoving him out of the way.
But guys, when Simpson was staying out on those rapidly degrading tires, there's a thought possibly that maybe him staying out might have been to try to slow the field down, give Palo a chance to extend his lead. That lead has now gone under caution, wiped down to 0 to Louis Foster, but has it potentially opened up the window for him to execute a 2-stop strategy on the streets of Toronto as we go back to green, and Palo leads from Foster on the run down to 1, and Scott Dixon moves defensively immediately to shake off any advantage. Lundgaard had an award, tries to make the move and does make the move, executes immediately on Di Francesco as Kirkwood puts the move on Armstrong.
That was Herta, I believe, putting the move on Armstrong. His car looks so similar to Kyle Kirkwood, it's going to be tough to keep those two apart, but Colton Herta making a critical pass at the right time.
As Malukas does exactly the same on Louis Foster. Malukas up to second. Bunching at the rear, and Rosenqvist once again coming off the worst. Sitting on board with Ray Hall, as up the inside, Eilert has a look, Rosenqvist has a look.
Heavy defensive move there from Eilert, running on board the United Rentals on board with Graham Rahal. It looked like he was just driving Rosenqvist to the wall on the inside of turn 5 there.
I like it though. Eilert just went super deep on the brakes and took away the possibility for Rosenqvist to do what Will Power just did to Christian Rasmussen. Look at the bump, guys, through here. Right here, it is so gnarly. Bam! You're going to just absolutely whoop. If you look back in the far view of the camera, you can see the cars just hopping around there. Here comes Ericsson.
Ericsson on Di Francesco, as Kirkwood does now put the move on Armstrong. 1 lap after I said he had, because his teammate Colton Herta had already done so, and now Herta wants to do exactly what his teammate Ericsson did 1 corner ago. Up the inside, almost brushing the wall on the run down to 3 for Colton Herta, and that is definitely Di Francesco, the local boy, dispatched.
Love this view on board of an Indy car. Thanks to Gamebridge going through turn 6. It kind of shows you how many surfaces these drivers are dealing with, how bumpy this track can be, as Colin's looking at the gearbox of Ericsson. Slightly different strategies for these two. Herta's already been in the pits 3 times, just the once for Ericsson. Open wide there.
Wide. Way wide, overcooked it.
Man, he's pushing.
Guys, I think these 2 cautions have really helped Alex Palou. As long as he can run this stint, it makes his middle stint on the soft tire as short as possible. Georgia, what can you tell us about Louis Foster?
I can tell you Louis Foster has been pretty active on the radio. We just saw David Malukas make that pass for second. During the caution, Foster radioed to his team and said that he wanted a lot more front wing the next time he came for a pit stop. He also said he felt like the tires were degrading just a little bit. It was noticeable to him. The team then responded, and again, this was about 3 laps ago, that he needed to make it about 20 more laps on this strategy.
Interesting, so still looking to about 35 for RLL. Do you think that Alex Palou may be able to stretch it beyond that 35, Townsend, with the fuel he saved?
I think so, and every lap that he does on this stint shortens the middle stint on the soft tires that we know fall apart after about 8 to 10 laps. Guys, don't stop watching Scott Dixon too. He is up 13 positions. He started way back in 17th, and he is right on pace for the same strategy as Alex Palou. Another amazing day so far for the 6-time champion.
For those who have already stopped, though, for those who have already taken that first pit stop, O'Ward leads, and then it's the 3 Andrettis, Ericsson, Herta, and Kirkwood.
The problem for those guys that already stopped is they're going to need 2 more stops, just like Alex Palou. So they're basically level set, everybody on the same strategy, we think, at this point.
But they got the softs off as we hear that big coast from the Java House car of Alex Rossi. You see there Armstrong going by Devlin DiFrancesco, but Rossi on that strategy right now, up 20 positions from where he started.
Rossi, the last of the drivers yet to have stopped. So everyone from 1st to 8th trying to make this a 2-stop race. Everyone from 9th back, 3-stop race. That is how things are split right now on the streets of Toronto. We're running lap 21 of 90. Alex Palou leads David Malukas by 1.6 seconds. Louis Foster is 3rd. Scott Dixon is 4th. Then it's Lundgaard, Newgarden, Schwartzman, and Rossi. The drivers trying to make it to 2 stops, and Award is shaping up Rossi, and Award has a look at Rossi, but can find no way through as things stand.
Yes, sorry, that was 16 places for Rossi, not 20, as he now tries to defend from Palo Award down the back straight.
Award back to victory lane. Just 1 week ago in Iowa, how he loved the taste of that champagne from the top step of the podium, how he would love to taste it again here today. Team boss Zach Brown attending his first IndyCar race in a while on a rare off weekend from the rigors of the Formula One international travel schedule. We had a great catch up with him this morning. Incredible things that he and his McLaren team are achieving as we ride on board with Kyle Kirkwood.
It's a really interesting team dynamic right now because you got Marcus Ericsson on the same strategy here. He's already made 1 stop, but he's ahead of Colton Herta and Kyle Kirkwood. Does the team ask Marcus Ericsson, hey, let these guys by? Kirkwood and Herta, probably the 2 best chances for a win today, but Marcus Ericsson having the best race maybe so far of his season. He's had so much bad luck. Does the team interfere a little bit here and try to strategize to put their best foot forward?
I wouldn't like to be on that wall. I wouldn't like to have to make that choice. Tough call for them. Smooth sailing for Palo, 2.5 seconds. His lead over David Malukas. Saturday, it's baseball night in America. And what's more, it's showtime as Shohei Ohtani leads the Dodgers against the Red Sox. Or the Guardians take on the Royals. Check local listings for the game in your area. Saturday at 7 Eastern on Fox. As we ride on board with Will Power and cut now to the battle between Pato O'Ward and Alexander Rossi. And you know, there's an element of this race today that feels a little bit like deja vu. Kevin Lee, what are your senses telling you about how strategy might play out here?
I think it's going according to plan with Alex Palou. They still have options, but I do not think they are necessarily doing a two-stopper. I believe they still need caution. We're in the exact same situation as last year. Scott Dixon went long in the first stint with 6 laps of caution, like this year, pitted on 37. But remember, this race is 5 laps longer this year, so he would still have to do about a 20-lap stint on the softs, which is going to be hard to make that last. Fuel is fine. It's making the Firestones last on the softs, which is difficult.
Great stuff, Kevin. So Palo may need an additional couple of laps of caution here. But what about the guys behind who seem to be trying to save fuel? Because Pato O'Ward running 1:03s. Everybody ahead running 1:02s needs that extra second.
Let's listen to a little bit of radio from David Malukas running in second right now.
So we're powertrain issues on second gear.
Copy that, we're looking at it. No short shifting out of turn 3 for the engine.
So there you go, a little bit of instruction from the team there. David feeling some powertrain issues in second gear. Team telling him not to short shift. So not what you want to hear as a driver. You want to be able to kind of do what you want, not have to overthink this.
Felix Rosenqvist comes to the pits. You can see that right front wing end fence broken in contact earlier. We'll see if the team elects to change the front wing. This takes a lot of time to change the front wing. They'll be relying on the driver's feedback to determine if it's good enough to hang on. Looks like they're going to leave it.
Steady stop. Nice stuff from the Meyer Shank crew for Felix Rosenqvist, who gets back on his way. We were already down to 26 cars before this race began. Santino Ferrucci sadly out of action today, but George has managed to find him.
Tino Ferrucci down on pit lane, supporting his teammate David Malukas, who's having a great run right now, ultimately not racing because they couldn't get the car together in time amongst some other factors. But physically, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. I mean, my hand's beat up and bruised and bleeding, but that's part of racing in the sport. So, yeah, no, I'm just really happy to be here, really happy to be supporting the team. You know, bummed that our Sexton Property Chevrolet can't make it out there today and, you know, be in the fight. But we'll come back really strong in Laguna. And, yeah, here to support my teammate in Chevrolet and see what we can do.
Thanks, Tino.
Thank you.
So of that following group at the front, Robert Schwartzman comes in to pit lane, the first of those front runners to take the jump in. Hasn't quite been able to get to lap 30. What does that mean, though, for the likes of Rossi, Newgarden, Lundgaard, who were just ahead of him on track, trying to extend this segment of the race for as long as they could on the hard tire?
And whatever issue David Malukas is dealing with behind the wheel doesn't seem to be slowing him down. Second fastest car on the racetrack, less than 1/10 of a second slower than the leader, Alex Palou, who was the quickest. So managing the issue from behind the wheel, the number 4 right now.
One thing I find fascinating is that nobody is on the soft tire right now, meaning Alex Palou and his team are not getting much information. They saw Rinus VeeKay and Kiffin Simpson with some issues, but they really don't have a pure read with some faster cars in the field in terms of how much the tire is going to hold on.
The only read they will. Oh, we've got a flat.
Rossi.
Rossi.
I think that's more than a flat. I think that's contact.
Yeah, it looks like he's gone into the wall, given the bodywork damage flailing around.
Exit at turn 11, likely.
More help for Alex Palou here.
Yeah. In the sense that, yeah, it'll just make that middle stint shorter so that he can throw those softs on, not have to do a 20-lap stint on them. Still going to have to do those stops, but let's take a look back at what happened to the number 20.
The car has looked difficult to drive all weekend. Oh, boy.
Oh, wow.
And you know what? He was up to just lightly brushing the wall, but it looked like a part of the wall was maybe jutting out.
Exactly. And
yeah,
that's the
right
problem.
there.
When you have concrete to concrete, in this case, it's like a little bit of a like a deli slicer. That front leading edge is sticking out and just ripped the right rear off. James, that should have been a little bit of a brush, and I wonder if somebody touched the wall earlier and created a seam there that wasn't there the rest of the weekend. Total destruction.
Look how much debris is thrown across the front straight as a result of that. This will be a lengthy cleanup. All that carbon, all those shards, that can destroy tires if you drive over it. And our safety team going to be working hard to get that one all brushed up.
That was big, and unexpectedly so. We've seen drivers brushing that wall all the way through this weekend. There's a little bit of play that you can have there if you hit it straight on. And we saw a number of drivers do that yesterday through practice, through qualifying. I think to Townsend's point, maybe something in an earlier race, a piece of that wall just jutting out more than expected.
Yeah,
and
right
that's
here.
The offending article.
See,
you see it is jutting out.
There was a barrier, or excuse me, a sign sort of overlaying there, but I think it's that edge on the top side, James, it looks fine.
Yeah,
but on the bottom.
Flush up here, but you can see down there, there's that leading edge there that's just poking out. How that is bad luck. I mean, if I've ever seen it. And then that's, as you can see, the tire was bouncing along the road after it was destroyed. Man, that, I mean, you get away with that 99 times out of 100. But unfortunately for Rossi, that lip was just sticking out enough, and you could see the kind of damage it instantly does to these cars.
So does Palo decide, you know what, we should pit here?
Wow, under caution? Once again, his lead is erased. The advantage is erased.
On fuel, you pit here right now because you're at lap 30, 1/3 of the race. You could make it on one more stop easily. But the story today is tire, specifically the soft tire.
So what will Palo do? What will Malukas and Foster do? Your top three at the moment who started on the hard, who rode the storm. And Alex Palou's crew are ready and waiting for him. 32 laps completed of the 90. Fascinating roll of the dice.
Boy, this feels like a 3-stop for sure now for Palo. It depends on how long the cleanup is going to take on the racetrack.
And here's the thing, if it is a 3-stop for Palo, all of that hard work earlier in the race comes to naught. He will move to the back of the field compared to everybody else who's already stopped and committed to that 3-stopper early.
That's right.
I think you're going to see a lot of cars coming to pit lane here, just based on when we've seen the last pit from a lot of these drivers. It's going to be busy down there, and it's a tight pit lane, T-Bell. You can have your race come undone here.
This reminds me of Road America, guys, where we were guessing, what are they going to do? The teams admitted after the race, they were guessing all the way through. That's the kind of situation the strategists are facing right now. This is a roll of the dice for everyone.
Even the strategical magician, Barry Wanzer, admitted that he wasn't sure what was happening with the strategy, even on his own car at Road America. Who stays
You stay out. You stay out.
Oh, there's the call.
I like it. I think that's the right call.
Does anyone dare duck in?
I'm not sure the pits are open yet.
Ah, that could be why the call came. That's why the call came. There's the X. That's why the call came to stay out.
So that was not you stay out. That was the pits are closed, you stay out.
Why would you like it if that was the case?
Well, just because if he stays out, I think he could, with all this caution now, if he could go to lap 45 after the restart and then just shorten up the soft tire stint, if he pits now, almost certainly going to be committed to doing it on 3 stops, and it puts him behind the cars that might still stay out here, like Rinus VeeKay, Kiffin Simpson, Connor Daly.
What will the rookie do? Louis Foster. Let's have some radio.
Turn the front wing and make a tire pressure adjustment here, Louis. Pretty much everyone's going to take this yellow. There's a few guys that dove in when they saw Rossi. Go to black. Go to black. That's the plan.
So, hard for Louis Foster. Turn front wing.
I'll tell you, who are the cars that dove in when they saw Rossi? It looks like that was Pato Award and Robert Schwartzman and Graham Rahal. For Pato Award, you might be sitting real pretty.
And roll of the dice for Prema with Schwartzman.
Because I think Pato Award now can make it on one more stop. So when everybody pits under caution, this guy likely to go straight to the front.
They will pit. Most of them have to run alts again. You have 4 cars in front of you that might try to stretch this, but they'll be in a large fuel save. You are P1 on cars that can just push to the end. with one more stop.
I love this.
Music to the ears of any racing driver.
Oh, yeah.
I love how these races get turned upside down in an instant.
But also a great call from that team.
Oh, huge.
To pull him in when they saw that incident from Rossi before the yellow comes out. Look, a lot of that is an element of luck. You had to have been pre the pit in commit line. You had to be close enough that the yellow didn't come out, so the timing for him was obviously advantageous, but still, great reaction from the number 5 crew.
You say you make your own luck.
Hey, we talked to Zach Brown this morning. He's here on location. His team first and second in the Formula One World Championship, and this might be the break they need in the IndyCar Championship to really start to dig into Alex Palou. 170 points behind as they run right now. However, it's about to change.
Pits are open. And according to my screen, Marcus Ericsson, who was at the rear of the field, has taken a jump in. I don't know if his transponder isn't working. No, because there he is, he's on track.
Right
so
on
that's
track.
completely wrong. Right, pits are open. Next time through, who comes in, who stays out? We know Pato's staying out. We know Schwartzman's staying out. So too likely Rahal, Rosenquist, who pitted at the same time.
I want to give some props to IndyCar on this one. They left the pits closed until that incident was properly cleared up. Because of where it was on the racetrack, you couldn't go full pit car speed through, or safety car speed rather, through 9, 10, and 11. So drivers that pit would have actually had a little bit more of an advantage. So this was something we've seen here in the past. They made the decision to leave the pits closed till the entire incident was cleared up, and now we can have an honest run through pit lane.
And an honest but chaotic. It always is here at Toronto based on the curves that are unique to this track. Will, going to be wild right here.
It is going to be wild.
Oh!
Alex Palou is staying out. Scott Dixon stays out with him. Everyone else is piling in. Georgia.
Louis Foster told the team he was battling.
We got a spin. I'm sorry, Georgia. Carl Kirkwood has spun on the entry to pit lane, trying to make it inside to his box, trying to get through that bar that we talked about right at the start. Louis Foster is in and is away. I'm so sorry, Georgia.
No way.
Now Kirkwood gets in.
No way Kyle Kirkwood spun on his own. I'm sure he got help from behind right there as the Andretti crew races to get him back in. Kevin Malukas is away.
Louis Foster comes out second, and Josef Newgarden gets out third. They waited until the very last second. They were planning on Palo coming in. He was asking, how long do I need to go on the softs? There was no answer, and then it was stay out at the very last second. So Palo switching the script.
Wow. Let's see what we can see here. That's Armstrong, and Armstrong does tag Kirkwood. We're back to green and immediately back to full course caution here at Toronto as Jacob Abel, who was being passed by David Malukas,
I don't know what to do there.
and Louis Foster, went straight on into the barrier and up and over the rear of Josef Newgarden. So here's a replay of the start. Alex Palou, Scott Dixon, Renus VK, Kiffin Simpson, Connor Daly, Will Power did not stop. They all trying to stretch this one out. There goes Malukas. Through will come Foster on Jacob Abel, and Abel just gets it in. Newgarden tags the back of him. Di Francesco spins.
Yeah, honestly, it looked like Abel sort of just misjudged that one and tried to turn in a little too early with Foster on the inside, and then Newgarden just nowhere to go once again. And then you see with Armstrong getting checked up, Siegel made some contact, so some of the cars that didn't have to stop there may still have damage.
Oh, Kyle Kirkwood.
Lucky.
Just got by, hit some debris with the left front. Hopefully, tire pressure is okay. This is going to take a while to clean up. Guys, shades of last year when Santino Ferrucci went airborne in a very similar restart bit of contact.
We'll be back here in Toronto. Welcome back to the Ontario Honda Dealers Indy Toronto, live on Fox. Will Buxton, James Hinchcliffe, Townsend Bell. The stricken 51 of Jacob Abel is carted away, lifted away from atop the car of Josef Newgarden, and it is another DNF for Josef Newgarden. Fourth crash for Newgarden in the last 6 races, his worst stretch since 2014, and another one in which he was, I have to say, entirely innocent. Here's the replay again. Abel, I think, just gets a little tag, and he's up and into the wall, and Newgarden nowhere to go. And with a Dale Coyne car on top of his day is done.
Rough weekend for Dev Di Francesco, hometown kid as well, spun around in that incident. So here it is from the head on. Armstrong slams on the brakes to avoid the incident, gets rear-ended by Siegel. We saw him come into the pits. Siegel, that is, to assess for any damage.
Now, all of this, guys, is playing very happily for Alex Palou and Scott Dixon into their hands. They have still not been into the pits to grab fuel or tires. They are running 39 laps now. So too Rinus VK. So too, oh no, Kiffin Simpson has come in, hasn't he? To change tires. Daly stopped. Palo stopped. Power stopped a little earlier.
And I think this caution really hurts Alex Palou's chances. He's really kind of boxed in at this point. Let's listen to some radio.
Yellow, this is actually helping us. Stay out, stay out.
Did he say it's helping
Right
us?
now, it's all about the miles per gallon under yellow. This is...
Kevin, what do you make of how this is playing out?
So what the plan was before this last caution for the pileup, Palo was only going to be able to go about 5 laps. So that's lap 40, but this just adds into it. So say he's getting to 44, 45. We have no idea how long this caution is. I think a 2-stopper is easily in play. And think of it this way, get home lap, probably about 56 on fuel. So he may only have to do about 14 laps on the softs, maybe less than that.
Problem is Palo Award and the others only need to make one more stop. So when Palo pits, whether it's under caution or under green, he's going to lose a lot of track position.
This is going to be a fascinating final 50 laps. One driver, though, who won't sadly be taking part in that is Alexander Rossi. Looked to be pretty innocent in what happened there with the impact with the wall. A brush which at any other point in the weekend would have been a fairly innocuous kiss, ultimately putting him out of the race. He's standing by, though, with Jack Harvey.
Alex, 99 times out of 100, that's just not even a factor. Gentle kiss of the wall. Just talk about what happened from your perspective.
Yeah, it's exactly that. You know, it wasn't really even a snap. It was kind of, I just tracked out a little bit too wide and destroyed the rear of the car. So I don't really, I'm still trying to process it because I've never seen that amount of damage to really any sort of, like, if anyone sees the car at some point, like literally suspension is cut and the gearbox is pulled apart. So very disappointing. You know, I thought we were on the right strategy. The number 20 Java House ECR Chevy guys we were doing a good job with what we had, and I think a good result was on the table, and I feel bad that I gave that away. But yeah, I'm pretty speechless with the penalty for the transgression.
Thanks, Alex.
I wouldn't say he gave it away.
No, not at all. And once he sees the replay,
yeah,
and maybe has a chance to watch the broadcast, and James and I telestrating on the break in the wall, yeah. I think he's just horribly unlucky in that moment. That is a brush without consequences 10 times out of 10 at every street race we go to. And I think that wall was just misaligned at the bottom. And like I said, it's like the deli slicer. It's like that blade sticking out just a little bit to get a thin slice of ham. And in this case, it was a thin slice of a lot of suspension as Palou and Dixon come in.
Now they pull the pin, and Kevin's standing by.
So I think they got to the point where they think they're going to be able to get home on one more stop anyway, so might as well take advantage of the caution. Dixon is up around the bend. Palou is at pit out. This is the soft set for Alex Palou, and he will beat out Dixon, who is also on softs.
Let's see where they file out with the rest of the field. I think that's Stingray Rob, and that'll be the car of Callum Ilott. So this will be down in 18th, 19th place for them.
If the caution keeps running, what it does is it shortens the stint that they've got to survive on the soft tires. So it's all about protecting those and getting to about lap 55 to get home. So 13 laps right now with the caution out, and if it stays yellow, they'll have even fewer laps of green on the soft tire.
What does this do for those now at the front of the field? VK Simpson, Daly and Power, we know they're going to have to stop probably twice more, but for O'Ward, can those guys, O'Ward, Schwartzman, Rahal, who stopped, where are we looking at now, back on lap 30, no, they stopped on lap 28, 27, can they make it on one more stop?
Maybe, yeah, because of all this caution. I mean, Rinus, VK Simpson and Daly, they got to get to the same lap number. Lap 55 is the get home number today. Maybe lap 56, so we'll just have to see how it plays out here. We'll find out just how hard Rinus VK is going to push on this restart.
Let's go. VK Simpson, Daly, Power your top 4. O'Ward knowing that the guys ahead of him need to save fuel. O'Ward needs to push in these early laps to try to take the advantage as VK squirrels around and gets us going back to green, followed by Simpson, followed by Connor Daly, and followed by Will Power. And look at Pato O'Ward putting his gas down and trying to get up on the inside, puts the move on Power straight away at 1, and Pato O'Ward is through.
And that's going to give Power a bad exit out of 1, might leave him susceptible to Schwartzman. Remember, no push to pass available on the first lap of a start or restart.
Power's going with Pato though. Power trying to take the position back as Daly has a look up the inside of Kip and Simpson, going too wide, and we sit now with the 12, and that is Pato O'Ward, and now Power's in the wall. You cannot really go too wide there unless you're both willing to play ball. And Pato was not willing to give an inch. Elbows out. Power gets it going again under his own steam, so we avoid a full course caution. But that was pretty strong.
More problems for Team Penske. Unreal how this event is playing out for them. But back up front, O'Ward now on the charge. You see his teammate Lundgaard there. Big defense as Armstrong dives into the pits.
Look at the 3 Andretti's driving with purpose. It's Ericsson, Herta, and Kirkwood, who has managed to get himself through and pass. And now Pato takes the look up the inside of Daly. Pato O'Ward is not playing around today. Elbows out, moves on show. Pato is pouncing at every opportunity. This is a magnificent drive from the McLaren man who knows he needs track position, knows he needs to use these laps to get past those saving fuel. As Rosenquist has a look at Herta, but no way through. This is inch perfect from Pato O'Ward as Palo tries to get past Louis Foster, but the rookie will not give him an inch.
Palo's got to be so careful right now to just protect his race car. He finally gets by Foster right there. Now Dixon will have his turn on the rookie.
At this point, those softs on the 2 Ganassi cars are going to be better. You are going to have more grip, and you need to sort of make hay while the sun shines, because we know that about 10 laps into this stint, it's going to go a bit sideways.
Something happened to Foster. Yeah, his left rear is damaged. Foster got into the wall. Dixon was able to get by. Pato O'Ward head down again. 2 cars separate him between where he is and the lead.
Back at turn 1, back in his favorite spot, and another position gain. This is majestic. Absolutely glorious to see.
We spoke to Pato at the start of this weekend. He said, this is not a track that's good for our team, and this is my worst track statistically. If they were able to pull off a remarkable result here, that would be such a welcome result.
Simpson being warned that Daly is on his 6th, in the 6th. But look at how much push to pass Pato has left. Not a lot, 95 compared to 145 for Simpson, 141 for Remus VK. How much will VK use to defend? Or will he know that actually Pato is just going to make his way through at some point? Let's head down to Jack, who's standing by with Josef Newgarden.
Joseph, was that just a simple case of wrong place, wrong time?
Yeah, wrong place, wrong time. Just want to say thanks to PPG, Chevy, and all our supporters at home. We see you guys, so thanks so much.
Thank you, Joseph.
Short and sweet from Josef Newgarden. Nothing he could have done about that today. The disappointment evident for Team Penske. Once again, their season continues to unravel. So it's VK from O'Ward, Simpson from Daly, Robert Schwartzman is 5th, Rahal is 6th, then it's Rosenquist, Malukas, Lundgaard and Ericsson as strategy starts to play out in Toronto. August 2nd, Major League Baseball is taking over the iconic Bristol Motor Speedway for a must-watch, one-of-a-kind event. Catch Ronald Acuna Jr. and the Braves take on Ellie De La Cruz and the Reds in the MLB Speedway Classic, August 2nd on Fox. Back in Toronto, Rinus VeeKay leads Pato O'Ward. What's the strategy? How many stops is Pato O'Ward going to take? One man who surely will know. This is team boss, Zach Brown.
Surely will. Zach Brown standing on top of the 5-box right now. You guys have put yourself in a good position. Seems to be an aggressive nature to this race. What do you make of it?
Yeah, Pato looks very strong. He's definitely sending it good under the brakes. I think we've got better pace here up front if we can get some clear air, but as we've seen a lot of yellows so far, we'll have to see how the strategy plays out, but we're looking good.
Right now it looks like one more stop. Is that true?
Yeah, I think that'll be the case unless something unusual happens, which sometimes in IndyCar racing, unusual things happen.
Thank you, Zach.
Thank you.
It certainly do. Malukas, Foster, DiFrancesco on pit lane. VeeKay leads O'Ward, Simpson and Daly, Schwartzman 5th. Rahal is 6th, then Rosenquist, Lundgaard, Ericsson and Herter, your top 10. But we are expecting VeeKay, Simpson and Daly to come and stop relatively soon unless they can stretch the fuel out.
VeeKay only needs about 3 or 4 more laps to make this work. Let's see, he stays out, working lap 51. So VeeKay still in the mix for the first win of the season for him.
Same is true for Simpson, same is true for Daly behind. I mean, VeeKay's got 3 laps less fuel than the other 2, so if VeeKay can make it, it's looking very good for Simpson. Daly to also get it done on 1 more. They're going to have to save some fuel where Pato O'Ward's going to be able to go flat out, so he's still in the catbird seat.
Now, if you are Pato O'Ward, you pitted on lap 33. You don't have to pit at lap 55. You can stretch this out. You can do a 30-lap stint on these hard tires with the fuel easy. Do you try and make it then to 63, to 65, have a lesser fuel at the end so you're carrying less weight, and then go to the end and put less stress on those tires?
The problem is, as soon as somebody else pits for that final time, the first car to pit for the last time puts everyone else on at
the danger zone.
In the danger. I was trying to avoid the term. But yeah, you've got to be on guard at that point. You are back against the wall. You're risking it. This is sort of the inverse of what we saw at Iowa, where the teams that pitted early, they put themselves in the danger zone, and that caution came out and caught them out, Pato O'Ward being one of them.
Now, I've got eyes on Alex Palou and Scott Dixon. They put the soft tires on. Everybody out there running 102s, mid 102s, low 1-minute 3s. Palou and Dixon have just dropped into the high 1-minute 3s, 103.8, 103.8. Dixon, last time around, was a 104. They're starting to lose time.
And look for these guys to be the dumpster divers, the first ones to come in and try to force the field to cover, because Palou and Dixon are struggling now on pace. The strategy has kind of fallen apart at this point. They're running out of options.
The fascinating twists and turns on the streets of Toronto. Power loses another position.
Back in Toronto, Alex Palou is hoping to make this the final stop. He takes Shell 100% renewable fuel, goes to the hard Firestones, but this is about a lap or two early to make it safe. They did reach their goal, though. They said we need 12 laps on the softs, and that's how many they did. A caution puts him back in play in this race.
Guys, how about Rinus VeeKay? He's made it. He's in the window to make his final pit stop for Dale Coyne Racing. Rinus VeeKay and Kyffin Simpson on for fantastic finishes. It would be VeeKay's best ever street circuit result if he could win this thing. But all of a sudden, they've made the fuel work, and this 18 car is sitting pretty with a shot.
A shot for VeeKay and O'Ward and Simpson. The race turned on its head with the cautions and some nifty driving, some great fuel saving, particularly from the likes of your VeeKays, your Simpsons.
And look, he's great on push to pass. Rinus VeeKay, Kyffin Simpson's got even more seconds remaining. Palo O'Ward just 89 seconds.
Dixon into the pits. The soft tires have gone off 1 lap after his teammate. He's in, he's gone. And now we're in that danger zone, guys.
I think Scott Dixon's going to beat Alex Palou there off pit lane, but Rinus VeeKay, job done. Excellent. It'll be a race on pit lane between these two for the lead of this thing. VeeKay's got pace, James.
He genuinely does. He was 4th quickest car on the track that time by. He does another lap while burning push to pass. Incredible fuel mileage out of that Honda right now to keep him in contention.
But they are
for the gap. You can push as much as you want. Use overtake as much as you want.
They are dancing with fate here. If a caution comes right now, they will be caught out. And Scott Dixon did beat Alex Palou on the pit stop exchange.
He most certainly did. He beat Palo. Behind them is Marcus Armstrong. Lundgaard is ahead of both of them. So a great run as we try to work out how this lineup will shake up through these final laps. It's still VeeKay who leads from O'Ward. The gap is 1.1. Simpson sits there in 3rd. Ray Hall is 4th. Ericsson and Herter, Eilert and Power, Robb and Siegel are your top 10.
I'm surprised they're risking it, James. Got 33 laps to go. It'll be 32 at the line. Surely Rinus is going to come in now.
Speed on the way in, please.
And he does.
Award looking to do the overcut. Award stays out. Jackie's coming to you.
He is coming to me, and he's just literally stopped on his marks. Going to put some of that Shell fuel in. Hard tires going on.
Well done. Now the outlap. Cold, hard tires. Watch out for lockups.
We saw the overcut work for Dixon on Palo. That was going a lap longer. I wonder if Award's just going to do 1 more lap, try to do the same thing, or does he push it, T-Bell? Does he go 2, 3, 4 more laps?
It's so risky, though.
And they rolled that dice in Iowa. It didn't work out for them. You got to think the 5 crew is considering pitting this time by.
But where Palo O'Ward won Iowa was beating Josef Newgarden on his in-lap. Palo O'Ward so fast with his hands. He can manage these bumps at Toronto so well. I got to think Pato's going to come down.
I wonder.
I think he's in the pit.
He is in the pits. Pato O'Ward is on pit lane. Georgia.
The team asked if Pato liked the changes they made the last pit stop. He said yes, he does. The car feels good. They put those hard tires on, fill it up with Shell fuel. He had to get around Rahal coming in, but he has a clean out.
Clean out for him, but where does it bring him out in relation to Rinus VeeKay? Look to your left, look to your right. Pato O'Ward on pit exit. Where is Rinus VeeKay? Simpson's pitted as well.
Wow.
VeeKay to the left, and it's huge from O'Ward. Easily takes the lead over Rinus VeeKay. Not the lead of the actual race, but the lead potentially once these stops all play out. It's Ericsson who leads from Herter, but O'Ward is 3rd, and just those 2 Andretti's ahead of him on track.
But still, Rinus VeeKay with 25 seconds more push to pass relative to Pato O'Ward. So VeeKay will have an advantage in these closing 31 laps.
Worth mentioning, Ericsson and Herter both stopped last time the same lap as did Pato O'Ward. That was lap 33. We expect them to be coming in pretty soon, which will leave Pato O'Ward back in charge of this race. I say back in charge of this race, really for the first time.
For the first time in his career. He's only led 3 laps here at Toronto coming into this race. Average finish of about 12th. in his time here on the streets at TO. This is going to be a remarkable turnaround for this team and this driver if they can just pull off this last 30 laps.
If is the big word there, Hinch. It's 2 letters, and yet it's massive because Rinus VeeKay has the advantage on push to pass and has shown himself to be the consummate racer. He's on the push to pass. This is going to be a thrilling conclusion on the streets of Toronto. Back in Toronto as Simpson puts the move on Stingray Rob. And that is for a legit 4th place. This man, though, Palo Award now in the lead of this race. Took his first victory last week in Iowa. First victory of the season for Pato O'Ward. Moved himself up to 2nd in the championship. And now leads from Rinus VeeKay, 1.3 seconds, 1.4, almost 1.5 is the advantage now. David Malukas having a great race there in 3rd place. And Kyffin Simpson has jumped up into 4th.
Drivers are busy right now just managing their hands and feet with the steering wheel and pedals, but there's additional controls that they'll be working over this final stint, specifically the brake bias adjustment in the cockpit. As the tires wear, sometimes you've got to move the brake distribution front rear, and thanks to Delara, we can take a look at how that system works. Drivers have a knob, driver's left on the dashboard, and they can turn that clockwise or counterclockwise. You'll see that red knob. Clockwise moves the brake bias to the front, counterclockwise to the rear. So if you're locking fronts, you're going to turn that knob towards the rear. What does that do? It spins a cable inside a housing that runs all the way back to the master cylinders behind the brake pedal.
And it's not just as the tires wear, T-Bell, on a track like this, when it's so bumpy, these brake zones are a real challenge. You can sometimes even do it for one corner on the racetrack, maybe move it a little bit forward, a little bit rearward after you get out of that corner. So the driver's working very hard on top of just trying to navigate this 11-turn track.
One thing we've not been used to seeing this season is exactly what you're seeing on your screen right now. Scott Dixon is 14th, Alex Palou is 15th. They rode their luck, they rolled the dice, and it hasn't worked out for them. Their strategy has placed them right down in the depths of the midfield. Palo was leading this race easily pulling out over the field, but with each continuing yellow that came out, that lead was completely erased. And now they find themselves having to fight their way through, now on the same strategy as everyone around them.
And guys, for the first time in a long time, Alex Palou's championship lead as they run right now, just 96 points, is under 100. Still 4 races to go in this championship, so it has not played out very smoothly.
Well, it's worst case scenario for Palo, running down there in 15th, second in the championship, running up front on the point, looking to collect all 50 points for the win, plus the bonus points for laps led. So this is worst case scenario for him.
What did Zach Brown tell us this morning on the warm-up? I believe in miracles. This isn't over. He said this is a long way from over. His man leads, the championship leader, down in 15th place. Lap 66 and 90.
Let's hear some radio from the championship leader.
Has everyone pitted?
Almost everyone has already come in for their last stop. There's a couple more we think still have to come.
Yeah, I mean, asking if everyone's already pitted, he'll see that he's running down in 15th. I can only see Stingray Robb in front of him. That still needs to stop from 7th place, so he'll pick up one spot.
David Malukas, I don't think is going to make it. He pitted on lap 48. I think that might be too far unless he gets crazy fuel save. Now, while all this has been happening, Colton Herta has quietly made his last stop and gotten up to 5th in this race, getting ahead of his teammate Ericsson. Should there be a caution, all of a sudden those Andretti drivers of Herta, Ericsson, and Kirkwood, who run 5th, 6th, and 7th, boy, they would be up in the saddle and ready to hunt.
And think about this, Kirkwood was facing the wrong way in pit lane not all that long ago. Incredible fight back from this man, Kyle Kirkwood, who was kicking himself for handing away the pole position yesterday. Has been inarguably one of the fastest drivers of this weekend. He is the king of the streets in 2025 in the NTT INDYCAR Series. A joy to watch. Hustle around the street tracks that we have been to. A winner in Detroit, a winner in Long Beach. Alex Palou, a winner in the season opener at St. Pete. But after that point, Kyle Kirkwood untouchable on the streets, putting in great pace today. Right, here we go, 23 to go. Award leads VK by 1.7. Malukas has to take one more stop, we think, here in Toronto. We're back in Toronto with the Pennzoil moment of the race, and it was where Pato O'Ward and McLaren turned this contest on its head, taking advantage of the caution, pitting at the right time, and when we went back to green, putting the moves on left, right and center, and making turn one his happy hunting ground.
Oh man, he did it over and over again. This move on Will Power, another brilliant job on that brake pedal. Didn't stop there, got Louis Foster as well, and now 20 laps to go, and the number 5 is alive and well in Toronto.
It really is at the Ontario Honda Dealers Indy Toronto, coming to you live on Fox with Will Buxton, Townsend Bell, James Hinchcliffe, Georgia Henbury, Kevin Lee, and Jack Harvey down on pit lane, and O'Ward is stretching his legs. It's now 2.5 seconds his advantage over Rinus VeeKay.
Guys, just looking a little bit further back in the field there, you know we've got David Malukas, who we're pretty sure is going to have to pit again. You know who's just fine on fuel is the driver in fourth place. Kiffin Simpson could be on track for his first ever IndyCar podium. He's been having such a great season. We've seen an increase in speed, an improvement in racecraft. He's going to go up there. The question is, does he have the pace to keep Colton Herta behind him for another 20 laps? That's going to be the challenge.
2.5 seconds, slowly pulling away. Anything better than an 89 gives us more fuel to use later. Doing a good job.
And you make a great point, Hinch. And I think back to the last race where Kiffin really came into his zone and actually recorded his best IndyCar result. Where was that? Detroit, P5. He seems to have unlocked something on city streets.
And an interesting type of racetrack for a young driver to excel at first before some of the others. I mean, we saw a great run from him in Mid-Ohio, but these are challenging streets. Detroit, Toronto, tough place to get comfortable behind the wheel of an IndyCar, as we see Deb DiFrancesco re-emerging onto the racetrack after that damage from that turn 1 incident.
I will say one thing, Simpson's got 2 fastest laps this year. Long Beach, Detroit. He knows how to hustle that Ganassi around street courses. I'm telling you, great run from him. The gap remains around 2.5 seconds between O'Ward and VeeKay. Malukas is third, Simpson is fourth, then Herta, Ericsson, Kirkwood, the trio of Andretti cars. Rahal having a really nice race. We've seen him putting some moves on today. We've seen him not just holding position, but gaining positions left, right, and center. Really strong run from the RLL car. Rosenquist up to 9th, despite at one point having that, well, still does because they didn't change it, that damaged front wing. And Callum Ilott is 10th. Robert Schwartzman was looking like he was going to have a great day in the sister Prema car, but race strategy, they opted to go hard, which means they had to run the softs. So they've had to take a final pit stop, which has dropped them down the order. That's 3 pit stops for Schwartzman, drops him down to 18th place on a day when everybody else has, through either luck or judgment, been able to make it too.
Felix Rosenquist has really hung in there. Great toughness and discipline despite the damage to that front wing. He's chasing down Graham Rahal right now. Rahal 57 seconds of push to pass left. Rosenquist 55. So they're pretty dead even. In fact, if you look at the top 10 there, James, they all, sorry, that's last pit lap, not push to pass. So Rahal's push to pass is 57, Rosenquist 51. But everybody in the top 8 there are pretty close, except Kiffin Simpson. He's got the most, 109 seconds left. Simpson's got horsepower to use down the stretch here.
And he pit as late as anyone, so he's got fuel to burn and push to pass to use. This could be a great defense when Colton Herta catches up to him.
And of course, allying all of that with the IndyCar hybrid system. Let's not forget, you know, the system developed by IndyCar, Honda, Chevrolet, launched back in 2024 at the Honda Indy 200 at Mid-Ohio, does give the drivers that extra bit of boost a couple of times around the lap. How can they use that in the strategy? How can they use that for overtaking?
It's good for overtaking, it's good for defense as well, and that's one of those extra tools, extra elements that these drivers have to play with. Right now, Simpson about 2 to 3 tenths a lap slower than Herta. Herta got that gap down to just about 1.2 seconds, so that's going to be the race for the final podium position here in a few laps.
It's still on, 17 laps to go, and it's far from over on the city streets of Toronto. We're back in Toronto. At the back of the screen, you can see him there. The 60 of Rosenquist behind him. The 4 of David Malukas. Yeah, that's right. The driver who was third has now fallen down the field because he came in for his final pit stop. Here he is, the full crew going to work down there on pit lane. Oh, no! And that's the rear right, wasn't fully attached.
The outside rear tire changer had a difficult time placing the wheel and tire initially, and somehow Malukas given the signal to go, and then this happened to Felix Rosenquist.
Big lockup going down there into turn 3. Seemingly has lost a part of his front wing, which has been falling apart for a while. When he makes it back onto the track, squeezes Alex Palou through 4, who then makes it through at 5, and then the 2 make contact again, Will Power and Felix Rosenquist, and it was those 2 who made contact that did the damage to his front wing in the first place.
All sorts of fun for the Sirius XM car as he just tries to salvage what he can now. 14th place is what he fell to, and he has Malukas right on his gearbox now, trying to recover from that pit stop issue.
And what about this, guys? Pato O'Ward with 13 to go, leads by 3 seconds from Rinus VeeKay. Kiffin Simpson sitting there in third, couple of seconds ahead of Colton Herter and the Andretti trio. What's going through the head, though, of Dale Coyne as he sees his boy, Rinus VeeKay, sitting in second and driving towards a podium, potentially a win?
Well, let's find out, Will. Dale, you're so good with strategy. What are you seeing that sometimes other people aren't?
Strategy evolves, you know that. So this one's been crazy with the yellows and when they'd come. And, you know, I think Ganassi had a unique strategy, but it didn't work out for him. So this one's kind of a toss-up, but Rinus is doing a good job running up front. It's good.
Well, good luck for the rest of the race, boss.
All right, thanks.
Understated, and a guy who is renowned in this championship for finding talent, giving them a platform on which to show just how good they are. And Rinus VeeKay has done that. Oh, as we get very close with Daly and Lundgaard, Daly forces the issue. Dixon will try to take advantage of that now around the outside of the Juncos Hollinger man. And Daly holds tight, and now Palo up the inside of Lundgaard. They're going to make contact, they do, and Will Power is getting in on that as Palo gets all sketchy. Rear hanging out around the corners, and Malukas says, thank you very much, Will Power. I'll have that position, and I'll get Alex Palou as well.
Alex Palou's going to have dirt and rubber all over his tires for the next couple of corners. He almost got into the wall there. That was close stuff, and now Will Power slides wide and lets Rosenquist through.
Dude, look at Malukas. He's absolutely on it. He's taken 2 drivers in one corner. Now he's going off ahead of him and trying to get onto the back of Scott Dixon, Christian Lundgaard, and Connor Daly. Malukas is on an absolute tear.
Got fresh tires, feeling hero strong on new Firestones, and you have to wonder what if Malukas hadn't had that pit stop bobble. But watch Scott Dixon. Here he comes on Daly.
On the inside, on the run down to 3, already well past Connor Daly, as Malukas now to the outside of Lundgaard. Will need Lundgaard to give him some space, and he doesn't. Tire to tire and contact between Malukas and Lundgaard, and look how racy Malukas is. Tries to look around the outside at 5, and there is absolutely no way through there.
And guys, we're battling for 12th, 11th. You know, this is absolutely elbows out, no holding back with 10 to go here in Toronto, but Palo has got to be smart about this. Pato O'Ward is second in the championship. He is leading this race, walking away with it. If he has a DNF here, he's already losing a massive chunk of points in the title race. He has to finish this race, just bring it home with 10 to go.
You can never take your eyes away from an IndyCar race. Doesn't matter if it's a battle for the lead or a battle for 12th. You are going to see drivers with their elbows out, giving it their all until that advanced auto pass checkered flag falls at the end of the race. And here comes Malukas, and there's contact, and there's a touch on the wing as we run down still into turn 3. Malukas gets past Lundgaard, goes around Daly, and little Dave is on the charge. Wonderful, absolutely wonderful.
We've seen Lundgaard be super defensive so far in this race, so if Palo gets a sniff, tries to make a move, he's got to be on his toes here.
You can tell Alex Palou, I think, has backed up his aggression a little bit on that last lap. It was a little too close for comfort when Lundgaard stuck him wide there in turn 7. So Palou's going to kind of regroup here, look to have maybe a little less contested run possibly on the back straightaway, or maybe even into turn 1 right now.
9 to go, and Palo looking fighty, tucked up behind Lundgaard. Will he make the move, or will he hold steady and think about the title, think about the points? Just take it home easy as Power gets up on the inside of Rosenqvist, who is struggling, and frankly, I don't know how he's held on as long as he has in this race with that front wing in the state that it is in.
It's going to be Palo looking for a move here, I think, on Lundgaard. They've got Daly as a pick.
Lundgaard will go around the outside of Daly. And they make contact, and Lundgaard almost into the wall. In fact, is into the wall, just the smallest amount of damage to his car then, but that drops him behind Rosenqvist and goes side to side with Rosenqvist, and Rosenqvist gets sideways, and Armstrong makes it through.
Lundgaard is driving like this is a Norwegian rally. Sideways, bumping, elbows out, great stuff.
Rally cross, you know, when there's multiple cars on track and you're door to door. That's the amount of contact we've seen out of the 7 so far today. It's unreal.
I mean, I think Christian's learned a lot from his dad, Henrik, who was a European rally champion back at home. Knows all about that kind of driving. Now Palo has the look at Daly, and now Palo gets through. Power will try to do the same. And Daly's been hanging on, and unfortunate for Connor to be dropping back, but when you're coming up against the likes of Palo, and now Power around the outside, and has it done. Under braking already, Armstrong looking at Lundgaard. That's very late on the brakes, they're going to touch, and they do.
I mean, the last 3 laps from Lundgaard have been just insane. He's getting pushed out of the way, he's fighting back. People hit him, he hits back. 7 laps to go, and he's looking for a nice little breath.
Hardest I've ever seen someone drive for 14th. I mean, he is going to be so disappointed with that result if this is how it ends for him.
Hey, the team owner, Zach Brown, is here. You got your teammate up front walking away with the win. Lundgaard looking for some attention.
You said at the start of this, T-Bell, this place is a mosh pit.
Yeah, and he's moshing.
Mate, haven't seen a mosh pit like this since, I don't know, Prodigy at the Birmingham Academy. Like, it is on. It is on, and look at that, just the smallest bit of damage to that front wing. They're so robust. As you look at Rosenqvist, who took that damage so early in this race, and that front wing is still somehow hanging on.
You hear the contact.
It wouldn't surprise me if it knocked the wheel slightly loose out of Lundgaard's hands right there, and he was able to grab the wheel again and regain control. Power here, willpower, looks to have the pace on Alex Palou in the closing laps.
He's got a bit of the pace, and from a push-to-pass standpoint, Power at 75, Palou at 65, so slight advantage. Verizon on board here of Power. We're here that the 10's got a fuel number he's having to hit, which does sort of make sense. He pit on lap 53, that's 3 laps sooner than Will Power, so Power well to the good on fuel. He can really make Palou work for this.
There, though, is your race leader. Pato Award, 2.3 seconds ahead of Rinus VK now.
Let's watch the pace of Stingray Rob. His last lap was a 1:04.5. That's the car that is ahead of Pato Award. Is Stingray going to let him by with ease?
I think he might be moving offline. He is way off.
Thank you.
Probably some maybe call from the
Chevy
guys saying, hey, look, we don't want to make this any more difficult on Pato than it already is.
And this is the only Chevy driver to win this season. Georgia, what you got?
Well, Kevin Simpson fighting for his first podium, maybe even his first win. He told me back in Iowa, the thing that's really making the difference this season for him is experience. He's coming back to these tracks for the 2nd time. He's 30 races into his NTT INDYCAR Series career, and it's paying off for him. So experience paying true for Kevin Simpson right now.
Kevin Simpson, whose last open wheel podium was the Indy Next at Mid-Ohio back in 2023. It's been a good 2 years for him. Indy is currently on the march and maintaining that gap ahead of the pole sitter, no less, Colton Herta.
But Colton Herta is starting to close the gap, and Kevin Simpson has had to push that push-to-pass button many, many times. You see both of the drivers on it now, on the back straight, going to turn 3. Colton Herta less than a second behind the number 8.
But smart use of push to pass so far from Kiffin. He's got 46 to 34 for Herta. That's more than enough to defend.
And it's more than Rinus VeeKay and Palo Award in front, so he's got himself in this position while managing that. And again, that's a big part of that experience.
And you know what? Colton Herta has 4-lap fresher tires. Herta, one of the late pitters here, 4 laps to the good, and that counts for a lot on this circuit. Very hard on tires, so Colton should have a shot here to get on the podium.
Should Kiffin be able to hang on to this, he's going to have 2 bits of hardware to take home, because he's also up 10 spots on the day from his starting position. It's the highest mover so far, the biggest mover, I should say. A little consolation trophy comes along with that, but if he could have it alongside a nice Ashley Crystal Cup, that'd be pretty cool.
3 laps to go. Pato Award leading Rinus VeeKay and Kiffin Simpson. That's the podium as it stands. Then it is the Andretti trio of Herta, Ericsson and Kirkwood. Graham Rahal sits 7th. Callum Ilott is up in 8th for what would be 2 top 10s in a row for the Prema team. Malukas sits 9th. Dixon is 10th.
Stingray Rob not exactly moving over like he did for Pato Award, so
that's Chevy versus
Chevy
Honda
not going to help a Honda right there. Let's see how Stingray handles the 2 Hondas of Kiffin Simpson and Colton Herta.
This is where Kiffin's really got to prove his worth. He's got Colton Herta multiple races.
Yellow.
Oh, and
Siegel
we have
and Rosenquist.
Yeah. And that is down at turn 10.
Guys, 3 to go. That might be all she wrote.
I don't think you're wrong.
2 to go now. He's crossed the line.
And what a sigh of relief for Kiffin Simpson. He had just made a little bit of a bobble there in the S's in the final few corners. And as the caution is out, it'll be 1 to go at the line.
Unless they can get themselves going. And even if they do get themselves going, I think you're right, Hinch. That may be it. Oh, and Rosie, it's just that front wing has been hanging on by a thread all race. I can't believe that Rosenquist actually managed to take it as far as he did.
I think it was a mistake on the power. Let's listen.
It looks like he lost the front end.
Yeah, lost the rear, started going wide, got on the brakes. Really nothing for Siegel to do. He was just trying to hunt him down, set up a pass into turn 1.
Yep.
Well, Pato Awards, I don't think he'll mind how the win comes. The fact is, 1 lap to go, under caution for Pato Awards, for VeeKay and Simpson. Guys, let's talk VeeKay, let's talk Simpson. What's this going to mean for both of them? You can see what it means to the family. Guys, just a podium for Dale Coyne Racing for Rinus VeeKay.
Look, it's been a few years since they've accomplished that with David Malukas back at Gateway. And you got to remember what this family and that driver's been through. Dropped from ECR at the end of last year, sort of unexpectedly. Dale Coyne Racing to the rescue, and it's led to a series of top 10s. He's running well in the points, and now to be on the podium here in Toronto, unreal.
It's fantastic. And for Rinus VeeKay, you saw the shot of his wife, Carmen. She's a professional boxer. Her husband today, he juked and jived, he ducked, he avoided the counter punches and survived.
And for Kiffin Simpson, this young man, alongside 2 of the best champions the sport has ever known. What will this mean for him?
I think it's huge. I think it's a confidence builder. The team has talked about Kiffin Simpson's work ethic, and he is delivering on the promise that he showed all season.
Well, we came into this weekend, and Pato Award said that this was one of his worst tracks, that his previous races couldn't have gone much worse. This morning, team boss Zach Brown said, "I believe in miracles." Pato said they turned the car upside down. And the intention now is to turn the championship upside down for the 2nd time in 2 weeks. Pato Award will win an IndyCar race, and he will do so having got his elbows out and given us the old Pato. Victory for Pato Award. on the streets of Toronto.
Boys, what a great strategy. Great job in the pits. That's how you recover.
By you, awesome job, spotter. Thank you, crew.
Tony, go on.
Let's go have some fun here. T1 in Toronto.
Guys, they took their chances. They played this race perfectly.
And one of your IndyCar teams wins, finally. Glad to be the one that gave it to you.
I think that was a message for Zach Brown.
I think so.
What a year Zach Brown is having. Everywhere he goes, they are winning.
He's got the magic touch, hasn't he?
Well, we talked to him this morning. What Zach Brown said is, my job is to put the right people in the right positions and then back off and let them do their job. He praised Tony Kanaan's work in the new leadership role with the team. He has to be incredibly proud. But this guy, I mean, what a day. Not a scratch on that race car.
Had plenty of opportunities to have that happen, but he was smart. And this is the drive, the kind of drive we've seen out of Palo this year that's kind of been missing. He's always had that speed, but this consistency, this smart long-term thinking, it's really paying off.
He admitted himself when I spoke to him in Iowa after that win that the first half of the season had been quiet for him. He had been approaching it in a slightly different way, and that in any other season, without Palo doing what Palo has done, he might have found himself leading the championship standings. This was like the old Pato. This was elbows out, a show of force, a show of intent. And as Zach Brown said this morning, yes, I believe in miracles. Do I believe it's over? Absolutely not. It's game on. The championship lead is cut down to 99 points.
So you're saying there's a chance?
You're damn right. Popular drivers in this championship.
Let's go, baby, let's go!
There'll be few more popular wins than that, and actually, what a popular podium. Palo P1, Rinus VK P2, Kiffin Simpson P3, a breakthrough performance from Kiffin Simpson, and for Rinus VK once again punching above his weight and leaving it all on the track.
For Palo Award, the question was, how long was he going to want to run on the softs? The answer was 1 lap. They dumped those things immediately, and that made the difference. A lot of caution helped them, James, in their cause, but now they stand in the sun.
You've finally been out of win.
Yeah. Oh, it's the right race win to get my helmet from. Yes.
Well absolutely. Done, thank you. Well done, Miko.
Wow, we go down to Kevin with our race winner, Pato O'Ward.
And Zach Brown was here to see his Arrow McLaren IndyCar team win. Pato O'Ward, this has not been one of your most successful tracks. Did you see this one coming today?
Oh man, I can't say I saw this one coming today, but I was feeling so good on the prime tire all weekend really. You know, we were just struggling a bit to just get the alternate to work in qualifying, and sadly that's the one you need to transfer. But I knew I had a great car under me to race with, and the guys nailed it on the strategy. You know, thank you to Team Chevy and all the guys and gals at our McLaren. This number 5 was definitely one that we knew that we had. We just keep making our Sundays a little bit difficult. But before warm-up today, there was a bird that dropped a load on the car, and one of my guys, my outside front actually, and I said, "That's a living myth. That's going to be a good day today," and it was. So no, I'm stoked for everybody, and I would never expect to have gotten, you know, this much better in Toronto, because it's been the most challenging track and circuit for us in the past.
Congratulations. Did it for the boss. Tony Kanaan is here as well. Arrow McLaren has won in Canada.
Joy unconfined. Pato O'Ward back to victory lane. Let's take a look at the Advanced Auto Parts checkered flag moment. And you know what? This was just a couple of moments before. And Pato O'Ward's lucky to escape the wreck that brought out the yellow that took him to his second victory of the season. But when luck's on your side, luck is on your side. And Pato O'Ward ended up cruising home for a richly deserved win.
I'm going to be walking around tonight looking for a bird in the sky for some good fortune.
Well, we heard from our race winner. Now let's hear from someone who I'm sure will be equally, if not even more happy. Rinus VeeKay came home second.
Rinus VeeKay, second place today. Man, you've been such a star this year. And I know the off-season didn't go how you wanted, but what a result today.
Yeah, thank you. It was a good day. It was a really good day. We've been moving all season, but we've been coming from the back. We qualified well with 9th this race, and I knew we could move forward. And I mean, these guys in strategy, they know what they're doing. And I mean, the Honda fuel mileage makes it so much easier to hit that two-stop. And we did an awesome job. So it was a pleasure driving this car. And yeah, I feel like this is one of many podiums coming with this team.
Congratulations, man. No doubt one of the stars of the series.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much.
Kevin Simpson, it is your first podium in the IndyCar Series. You were also the biggest mover. I'm going to give that to you. 13th to 3rd today. What are the emotions?
Incredible. I mean, just first of all the glory to God. It was a crazy race and so many ups and downs. At one point we thought we were in the worst position, and then very quickly it turned to one of the best positions. So yeah, just all the glory to God. Huge thank you to Journey and Chip Ganassi Racing and Honda. Did an incredible job today on pit lane, all the guys, and yeah, just incredible.
How much time and effort has gone into making a result like this happen?
Oh, so much. I mean, at Mid-Ohio, I was really bummed because that realistically we could have even won that race. So to not even be on the podium, I was super bummed there. But to come back here and get it done is incredible. So, and at Journey's home race as well is super cool.
Kevin Simpson on the podium here in Canada.
Well, Alex Palou led the most laps and control of the race, but did not get the finish. How do you take away from a day like this? You did nothing wrong.
Well, I chose a strategy, so there's what we did wrong today. I was pushing for that strategy. I thought it was, I thought it was going to give us the best option to win. The car was really fast. I wanted to be up front, trying to avoid being there, trapped in traffic. But yeah, honestly, it happens. We knew it was going to be a risky strategy compared to starting on alternates. It was kind of working. We were able to open a big gap after that first yellow. But it was not enough today, so yeah, not our day. Happy that Kiffin got his first podium, so that's going to be good for him, good for the team, and yeah, ready for next week.
Yeah, the lead in the championship still almost 100 for Alex Palou, heading to WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca.
Well, it wasn't to be for Palo, but for Pato O'Ward. It's 2 wins in 2 weeks for the McLaren man. Next Sunday on Fox, with a historic three-peat on the line, can Alex Palou become the fastest ever to lock up an Indy Series championship? Or will the pack hold him off at Laguna Seca next Sunday at 3 Eastern, only on Fox? One man who'll be hoping to stop Alex Palou from that incredible march toward a third consecutive title and fourth overall will be McLaren CEO Zach Brown, who's standing by.
And the first win he has seen in person as the podium celebration starts. Zach, you're going to have to visit America more.
100%. I've always loved Toronto. I've been here many times, and I've seen us watch a bunch, win a bunch on TV. Great to be here live. The Aero McLaren team was spot on today.
North America this weekend. The rest are certainly in America, and Zach will make another stop. Thank you.
It's great to see Zach here, who's on the morning warm-up show with us this morning, standing by, waiting for his boy to take to the podium. Pato O'Ward with another win, and look at that top Chevy man. Everybody else down to 7th. Honda runners, VK Simpson, Herta, Ericsson and Kirkwood, Rahal, then Ilott, Malukas, Dixon, your top 10. Will Power and Alex Palou, look at that, down in P12.
It was dramatic from mid-pack all the way back. Every one of these drivers with a pretty big story to tell about their day. But for the championship, still hope for Pato O'Ward. 99 back now. First time it's been under 100 for a while.
99. Kirkwood back up to 3rd in the championship. Dixon 4th, Lundgaard 5th. It's not over until it's over. And Alex Palou may have started this as the favorite, may never have been led in the title race, but one man determined to take the fight to him. Pato O'Ward.
And here to present the winner's trophy is Chris Gauthier, president of Ontario Honda Dealers and the Make-A-Wish Canada family.
It is one more time for Pato O'Ward. 2 wins in 2 weekends. Guys, yes, it's a long shot. Yes, 99 points is a big gap, but with 4 races to go, the momentum that Pato O'Ward has, the belief that Zach Brown and the team has in their team and in him, seems to be pretty strong.
And you certainly look at tracks like Milwaukee and Nashville still coming up, that Pato's definitely expected to have the advantage on as he goes absolutely to town with that champagne bottle on the crowd.
He was down 129 coming in. He's carved 30 points back in one weekend. There's 4 to go. You do the math. Definitely possible.
And what a Cinderella story for Renus VK and for Kiffin Simpson. What a phenomenal weekend we have had here in Toronto. Incredible racing on track. Absolute joy off track. This place never lets you down. Toronto, we have loved it. Cannot wait to be back. Coming up next on Fox, the basketball tournament, followed by NHRA Northwest National from Seattle. Our next IndyCar race next weekend, guys, the Java House Grand Prix of Monterey at Laguna Seca next Sunday at 3 Eastern, only on Fox. We will see you there.
The official IndyCar app, powered by NTT Data, puts the pulse-pounding action of IndyCar right at your fingertips. Never miss a lap with the latest news, highlights, and live race coverage. Track every move with real-time leaderboards, interactive maps, onboard cameras, and driver radio. Your all-access pass to every race, every moment, every day. Download the official IndyCar app